5 News This Morning starts now.
Thank you for joining us here on 5 News This Morning Plus. I'm Joe Ellison.
And I'm Tiffany Lee. Coming up, we have the latest in the manhunt underway for a suspect accused of killing 2 people at Devil's Den. We'll have a look at a new photo police release and hear more from local officials as the manhunt enters its 5th day.
Plus, back to school prep isn't just about those school supplies. Why vaccines, healthy screen time, and sleep routines are key to your child's success. But first, as you're waking up today, we're keeping an eye on the weather, and it's another hot one, unfortunately.
Yeah, Danny, come on. Is something good coming our way?
It is coming our way soon here, Tiffany. Now I'm going with the flow here. We're going to talk about some positivity. Yes, it is going to be very different 48 hours from now. We're going to be talking Friday morning how it feels beautiful out there. It's gorgeous out there, all of the same. But for today and tomorrow, it's once again hot and it is humid. As the sun's rising here on this Wednesday morning, you can see some beautiful blue skies out there, a little bit of thin cloud cover, but for the most part, it is gorgeous. Take a live look over Ozark here along the Arkansas River. You can see plenty of that blue sky, a little bit of that orange in the background. A beautiful start to our Wednesday. You can see already 82 in Ozark, Poto at 77, Fort Smith at 79. Take a live look along Walton Boulevard there in Bentonville. You can see more of that blue sky, and we're seeing plenty of that sunshine. That's going to help warm us up as we go into our day into the 90s and possibly 100 in the River Valley. There were a couple of very stray showers in far southeastern Logan and far northeastern Scott County. Those have dissipated though, and we're seeing again plenty of that sunshine. Clouds will fill back in later today, but it won't be until about the 11 o'clock to noon hour. If you're headed out early for an early morning walk or bike ride, again, get it done right now and do it early or very late because it's going to warm up quickly. By 10 a.m. it is going to be in the mid to upper 80s for temperatures, but the feels like will be in the triple digits, I think, nearly area wide, especially in the River Valley. And by noon, I'd say forget about it. Temperatures are going to be in the mid, possibly upper 90s, and that feels like anywhere from probably 102 to 110 already by noon. With that is also going to be that plenty of sunshine. Again, that UV index close to an 11, so the burn time will be anywhere from about 10 to 15 minutes. Again, just be safe out there if you're spending extended time outside. That feels like specifically, as I mentioned, will be close to 100 degrees by 10 and well into the triple digits for Northwest Arkansas, peaking at about 107 for much of the Northwest Arkansas region. For the River Valley, anywhere from about 107 to 108 by noon, 102 by 10, and hitting 112 to maybe as high as 114 later this afternoon. So you're like, all right, Danny, Friday, is it really going to be here? Yes, some rain will arrive that allow some cooler conditions, less muggy conditions, and especially for this weekend, it's looking gorgeous. We'll talk all about that here coming up in your full forecast. For now, we'll take a live look at traffic on this Wednesday morning. A live look along I-49 at Pleasant Grove. Cars are buzzing this morning, just waiting for that cooler weather to arrive, and it will on Friday. A nice end to our month. To start off August is looking beautiful. Again, we'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Joe and Tiffany.
Well, thanks for that, Danny. The manhunt to find the person responsible for killing a couple at Devil's Den State Park enters day 5. This morning, we have a look at the first photo of a man that police say they want to question in connection with the investigation. It's on the right side of your screen.
They've also released a composite sketch. They've put out both photos, hoping someone may have information that will help with the case. Investigators say the suspect is believed to be a white man with a medium build, last seen wearing dark clothing and a dark ball cap. Now, a criminologist from Arkansas State University says the composite sketch is pretty generic and won't mean much until more evidence is released.
Hopefully with more evidence coming about, maybe we're going to see some type of, when we find the Mazda maybe that they're looking for, maybe we could get some surveillance cameras footage. That would really help with the accuracy of this person we're looking for.
Well, Arkansas State Police are holding much of this investigation close to their chest, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of work that's going on behind the scenes.
Other law enforcement officers are watching it all unfold and hope residents will be patient and vigilant. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi live at the West Fork Police Chief shares his perspective. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Tiffany. West Fork Police Chief Justin Goggin says that he really doesn't recall an attack like this happening, especially near his home. He says that he hikes the trails near Devil's Den with his family and his children, and says that this attack definitely hits close to home. Now, he says that while his department is not directly involved in the investigation looking into the deaths of Clinton and Kristen Brink at Devil's Den over the weekend, his office remains vigilant and patrolling nearby areas looking for anything that may be out of place. His office has been getting a lot of tips from nearby residents and park goers, but really says that those tips should be directed to ASP. And again, the ASP says that the wanted man is described as a white male of medium build, last seen wearing a long sleeve shirt with the sleeves rolled up, dark pants, a dark baseball cap, and sunglasses. He was last seen also carrying a black backpack, wearing fingerless gloves, and may have sustained an injury during the attack. Again, that is from the Arkansas State Police. And Goggins says that residents should be vigilant at this time, looking for any details while remaining patient with investigators.
I know it's kind of a catchy saying, see something, say something, but it's absolutely true. That's what makes these cases, that person that says, man, that guy just doesn't quite look right, or that car doesn't look right. They get that tag number, they see that video, and they report that up. That can make a case. So, and that's always the case. Big stuff like this serious stuff, and small stuff.
So we have that composite sketch that was released by the Arkansas State Police, also the photo that was released by them yesterday. And Goggins says that, you know, we've been airing these photos. He says he's urging residents, he's urging anyone who's watching to really take a look at them. Maybe there's a detail there that you may have missed. Maybe there's something there that you didn't notice the first time. But he says really be vigilant. Look around at your surroundings. Look at those photos. Maybe you see the car. Maybe you see that person of interest driving by. And again, the Arkansas State Police is working around the clock to try and find this person. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Jacob. Well, police have also identified the couple who was murdered as 43-year-old Clinton Brink and 41-year-old Kristen Brink. Investigators say their two young daughters were there with them at the time of the attack, though they escaped without injury.
A GoFundMe made in honor of Kristen and Clinton Brink has raised thousands for funeral expenses. It was made by a family member of Clinton Brink. The GoFundMe was made to also support the victims' two daughters who were hiking with the couple at the time of their deaths. According to authorities, their two children are unharmed and are safe with family.
And download 5 News Plus to get the latest on the updates from state police and any developments as they come into our newsroom. You can text the word plus to the number here on your screen. We'll send you a link to learn how to get it for your smart TV.
Well, developing this morning, one of the strongest earthquakes ever recorded and the highest magnitude since 2011 hit Russia. CBS's Jared Hill has more.
On the island of Honolulu, a scramble to seek higher ground. Waves crashed on empty beaches as warnings echoed.
The roads are full, people trying to move. We ask you to stay calm, cooperate, and get to high ground.
We decided to go to elevated ground, and it's kind of just where it's taken us so far. We've passed a couple other gas stations that you can't even get in them.
Tsunami warnings and alerts were issued from Hawaii to the entire west coast of the U.S. after an 8.8 magnitude earthquake hit off Russia. Officials warned waves could reach up to 10 feet, prompting boats to head out to sea.
So far, we have not seen a wave of consequence, which is great relief to us.
Hours earlier, a tsunami more than a foot high was detected in over a dozen parts of Japan. Officials warned bigger waves are possible. Some people sought safety on the tops of buildings. The massive earthquake that triggered the waves shook furniture in far eastern Russia. Emergency responders rushed to a damaged kindergarten after the front of the building collapsed. No children were reportedly inside.
And new details this morning reveal the shooter in Monday's deadly New York City attack blamed football-related brain injuries and deliberately targeted NFL headquarters. Police identified the shooter as 27-year-old Shane Tamara, who drove from Las Vegas to New York. They say he has a history of mental illness and obtained a concealed firearms permit in 2022. CBS News obtained his suicide note blaming football for CTE and accusing the NFL of hiding the risks. Authorities say he killed 4 people and then himself. Tuesday night, a vigil was held in honor of the victims.
This is the time to stand up and say no more slaughter by a weapon of mass destruction.
The New York City Medical Examiner's Office says they plan to analyze the shooter's brain as part of their autopsy, which we're told is standard procedure.
Well, officials say a case involving a Lavaca deadly shooting requires a new prosecutor. This due to conflict in the case. News reporter Lauren Spencer has more.
In a press release, Daniel Shu wrote, "The father of the person who caused the harm is a former Sebastian County Sheriff's deputy, and the brother of the person who caused the harm is a former Lavaca police officer and 12th Judicial Drug Task Force officer." He also said the man who was killed, Brad Jones, had been doing work for a deputy prosecuting attorney. Now, the case has been handed to the 14th Judicial District Prosecutor, David Etheridge.
I treat this case just like it's any other case would be in my district. Which means I'm going to evaluate the evidence and the facts and make a determination of whether or not I believe that there is a crime that's been committed. And not just that, do I believe it's a crime that's been committed that I believe ethically that I'm able to prosecute and get a conviction of.
Etheridge says he's expecting the case file by the end of the week. Still, over 3 weeks have passed since Brad Jones was shot and killed, and many are wondering why no one's been arrested.
I think the reason is what we're talking about right now is there's not a prosecutor to look at it and make a decision. Is this a case that can be prosecuted?
He explained there's questions that still need to be answered.
Arkansas is a unique state. We are very much believing protecting individual rights, whether that be we have a stand your ground situation. Is it a situation where this was self-defense? Was there justifiable use of force? Was the force used not justifiable? And I think those are all factors everyone's trying to make sure have been viewed appropriately based on the facts that are available to us right now.
A suspect has not been named. Eldridge says that his next steps are getting that case file, coming to Sebastian County and meeting with officers, as well as visiting the scene and looking at evidence.
A jury found a Fayetteville man guilty for capital murder and sentenced him to life in prison. We don't have that story. We'll go to the next one here. Josh Duggar actually is appealing his conviction once again. And remember, he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. We have that full story at 5newsonline.com. All right, coming up on the Daily Brew, we're going to tell you all about a new Coors beer collaboration that's putting a literally cold deodorant out into the world.
Yeah, and do you remember getting bomb pops from the ice cream truck as a kid?
Yeah, the red, white, and blue ones.
Yeah, they're celebrating 70 years of business. We'll have those stories and more coming up right after the break. are just weeks away from the start of the school year. Hard to believe, but experts are saying changes need to be made now to have a smooth start. 5 News reporter Emily Moss is joining us live with more. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Tiffany. For most of our school districts, the start of school is less than 2 weeks away, and local medical professionals say right now is the time to start transitioning kids back to a schedule at home. Mercy pediatric nurse practitioner Hannah Baxendale says it's crucial for kids to make some adjustments before the school year to keep them from getting exhausted and having a harder transition. One of those transitions includes screen time, which can be detrimental to a child's sleep.
And it's screens in general. So we do recommend that at least 30 minutes before bedtime that we shut off those screens. So whether that is video games, TV, phone, tablet, whatever that may be, just because the longer you're keeping that on, the more active your brain is remaining. So definitely would say that we get those shut off at least 30 minutes before bedtime.
As children get older, they may need less hours of sleep, but Baxendale says she recommends to parents they still try to get those teens to bed with plenty of rest. Back to you, Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. Well, with school less than 2 weeks away for some, local back-to-school shoppers can save a little money this weekend. It's tax-free shopping in Arkansas and Oklahoma, allowing people to buy most school supplies without paying state taxes ahead of the new school year. You can find more details on the tax-free weekends on our website, which is 5newsonline.com. And I don't know about you, Danny, but tax-free weekends is one of my favorite weekends to shop.
Well, it's just great. You know, you get a little less off your receipts and also maybe a little bit more, especially I'll still buy back school stuff. I mean, we're not in school, but like notebooks and pens and papers is a good day to do it.
Electronics, clothes, I mean, anything like that. And I think growing up as a kid, we always made sure that we shopped on tax-free weekend, right?
Yes, yeah, no, definitely would be the weekend to do it. And this weekend, you might be tempted, though, to stay outside because it's going to feel really nice this weekend.
The good thing is there's a lot of outdoor malls out there.
See, there you go. We'll take a live look at traffic first just to talk about what it's looking like right now. Then we'll talk about that relief on the way soon. Here's a live look along I-49 at 8th Street near the Bentonville area. Good morning to you there. So far, traffic moving smoothly on this Wednesday morning as cars are ramping up and into high gear as that air conditioning is working overtime. Here's another live look over Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith atop Fort Smith Mercy Hospital. Very blue skies out there across the entire region, but it is a warm one across the entire region. 79 degrees with that feels like of 83. Dew point at 75. I was kind of going like this, so I wasn't sure what to point at first. Dew point at 75, that feels like 83. And again, it's only going to take 21 degrees to get up to 100, which we did yesterday in Fort Smith for the first time since September 20th of last year. Now, the record on that day yesterday was 108, so obviously fell well short of that, but it felt well above 108. That heat index about 110 to 113. We'll see more of the same today. Air temperatures, I think, will approach, if not hit 100 in the River Valley. High temperatures in the mid to upper 90s northwest Arkansas. Plenty of sunshine this morning and a few spotty storms during the afternoon. That feels like right now, again, in the mid to upper 80s in some areas already. And by noon, I think we're going to be widespread into the triple digits. Maybe even by 11 a.m. we'll be widespread into the triple digits. And then later this afternoon, about 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll see that feels like anywhere from about, let's say 106 to 107 in northwest Arkansas, maybe as high as 112 to 114 in the River Valley. And much like this morning, still going to feel very warm as you're going to bed, even into the overnight hours. Could feel like the low to mid 90s still at 10 o'clock. Now, tomorrow is going to be more of the same, maybe a couple degrees cooler, but the northwest Arkansas region will be a lot cooler. I shouldn't say a lot, but a little cooler as a cold front swinging through. But area wide on Friday, it's going to feel about 15 degrees cooler. Then for Saturday, another 5 degrees will drop off, and then Sunday, a few degrees even off that. So it's going to feel much better starting on Friday, but especially for this weekend, it's all due to the cold front. Say hi to the cold front, thank the cold front, whatever you want to do, present gifts in front of it, because it is going to be very much relief that we're going to be seeing for this weekend. Now, this cold front, as it's behind it, or I should say to our north, behind it bringing a lot of rainfall, and it will swing its way here down to the south. Now, it's not going to do that, but it is going to make its way to the south and provide, I don't think as widespread rain chances they're seeing in Iowa, but some at that. So let's have the future cast together. These won't be initiated by that cold front. These are more just kind of those daytime kind of pop-up showers and storms. Not everyone will see them, but those that do could see maybe some brief downpours and gusty winds. What we're going to have to watch for is ahead of the cold front, some showers and storms will trigger in Missouri, and we'll see how far south it gets. You see this kind of U-shape? This is an outflow boundary, and basically, again, it rides along the cold front and kind of heads with south of it and says, hey, we're going to give you a little bit more energy outside the cold front. And if that happens, we could see some storms triggered off it as far south as the river valley, something to keep an eye on. Then Thursday morning into the afternoon hours, this will probably be our best chance that cold front swings south. We'll see that kind of area-wide on and off storm chances throughout the afternoon into the evening. And then overnight Thursday into early Friday, we could see those storm chances, and continuing during the day Friday and then heading southward Friday afternoon before clearing out Friday evening. Could see maybe up to an inch of rainfall in some areas maybe possibly as high as 2 in some isolated spots. So some much needed rainfall after being pretty dry for the past 2 to 3 weeks. In terms of the rest of your forecast, and this weekend is looking gorgeous. Temperatures in the mid 80s for highs, low temperatures in the low 60s for northwest Arkansas. We could be maybe seeing the potential of overnight storms Saturday night, Sunday night, so something to look at. But for now, it looks primarily dry. For the River Valley, high temperatures below 90. We haven't seen that since early July, so it is going to be very nice for us this weekend. But again, just have to get with the heat today and tomorrow before relief is on the way soon.
All right, and today's Daily Brew. We're talking about a special kind of deodorant, and this time it's Coors Light, which is teaming up with Duratery to introduce this. They're calling it DuraChill, right?
Interesting.
Let's go ahead and take the video. Take a look. It's designed with a cold activated packaging, okay? So inspired by the viral trend of chilling beauty and skincare products for an extra refreshing boost. It's best straight from the fridge, they say. Just pop it in, and then when you're ready to use it, the melons will turn blue, just like, you know, on the can, and freshness straight to, I guess, your underarms.
Wait, so is this just like, it doesn't stay cold all the time? It's just in the morning, basically, when you put it on?
Yeah, as long as you got it in the fridge.
You could just take your normal deodorant and put it in the fridge, and it basically do the same thing?
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, of course, this has the packaging, and the mountains turn blue like on the cans.
That's the biggest thing, Tiffany. You need the mountains to turn blue.
Does it smell like Coors?
Yeah, does it smell like beer?
I don't think so, no. No, because that
was my
wouldn't be
first
good.
thought. I'm like, that's disgusting.
Could you imagine? You're like, I don't know, Danny comes in to do the weather and he smells like Coors beer.
I was going to say, I think I'd have some talk with management about that. I swear it's my deodorant. Maybe I can use that. Now at home, you can use that excuse like, oh, it's just the deodorant, I swear.
Or maybe don't. Let's not start bad habits, Danny.
No, but I do think it's really cool, just like that packaging. The guy who patented it, I think, must be sitting on top of millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
It is super cool that it does that. And I know I won't say that I do it, of course not, but my family, since it's a gluten-free beer, my brother-in-law is gluten-free, so he loves the Crispy Boys, he calls them.
Okay, the Crispy Boys.
And he knows when it's blue, we're going to have a good time.
All right.
So, okay, I do want to talk about this, though, this deodorant thing for a second. I wouldn't want to put it on in the mornings. I feel like that's like, when you're hot outside, you'd want to put it on. But are people really doing it when they're out there working?
It might give you that jolt you need to wake up, you know?
Maybe so.
Like, get up out of bed.
There you go.
I don't know. All right, let's talk about this summer. Actually marks 70 years for the Bomb Pop. Now, do you remember it? You know it. It's the red, white, and blue one. You get it at the ice cream truck when you were little. And, of course, there's all different colors. But are you familiar with these?
There's nothing like eating 5 of these on the 4th of July.
5 of them? Why 5?
Well, I'm just giving a random number. You know, it's always 1, and then, well, maybe just a second, and the next thing you know, you've had 4 or 5.
They're so good.
So good, especially when it's like 100 degrees outside and you've been out in the sun all day. Nothing hits like one of these.
They're great. Well, they're 70 years old, created in Kansas City, Missouri. I know, right? But that was back in 1955.
Those were the days, apparently.
So there was a DS, Doc Abernathy, and James Merritt who developed them, and cherry lime, blue raspberry. That's one heck of a combination.
Which one's
there.
y'all's favorite on there? The cherry lime or the blue raspberry?
I like the top.
I like the top too. And I like the lime too. Those two. I don't really like the blue. And I'm glad that's at the bottom. It usually melts by then.
Yeah.
Hot take, I guess. I'll go with the blue raspberry.
Yeah. Danny's going towards the bottom.
So do you eat
there.
it backwards?
No, I'm not a maniac.
Do y'all bite into the popsicle or lick it?
Bite.
Because how can you not? Like, that's some massive control right there.
I know. People who do that amaze me.
I lick it because I have sensitive teeth. So if
Yeah,
I were to bite
too.
one, I'd be out
I
for
just
the count.
suffer. I just suffer.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for joining us here today. Stay with us. We got more coming up on 5 News This Morning Plus.
This is a 5 News update.
Good morning. I'm 5 News meteorologist Danny Cassidy. Much like yesterday, the heat's going to be very similar to today. That feels like we're already be in the low to mid 90s for us by 9 a.m., approaching 100 by 11 in northwest Arkansas and peaking anywhere from about 106 to 107 later this afternoon. For the River Valley, as you may expect, even hotter, hitting 100 degrees by 10 a.m. and by noon possibly as close to 107, 108, and then peaking during the afternoon anywhere from between 110 to as high as possibly 114 in some areas. In terms of air temperatures, yesterday Fort Smith hit 100 for the first time in nearly a year. I think we'll probably be about the same for us today, possibly hitting it again. Northwest Arkansas in the mid to upper 90s. Fayetteville got as high as 99 yesterday. Maybe could get as close again. We do have a little bit of a better chance of some isolated storms, and I'll say isolated, but those chances are there for us later this afternoon. We'll show you that here on Futurecast. We'll start out with plenty of sunshine this morning as you're seeing outside your window. We will continue to see that through the morning. And then 11 a.m. to noon, we'll start to see those puffy cumulus clouds develop. And then from noon till about sunset, we'll start to see these, again, pop-up showers and storms tapering off as it gets to sunset. Now, we are going to have to watch for the potential of some showers and storms moving in from Missouri. You can see this kind of U-shape. This is an outflow boundary it's indicating. And again, it's like extra energy feeding off the cold front. If this is able to continue farther south, we may see some showers and storms overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, and then we'll have a better chance tomorrow afternoon along the cold front. So not expecting anything severe out of this, and again, most of it will be overnight, but something to keep an eye on, that if you hear some thunder, that, yeah, those storms are moving through. Hey, if you're watching us over the air on CBS, we are currently on 5 News Plus. 5 News This Morning Plus continues for the next half hour. It happens every morning from 7 to 8 exclusively on 5 News Plus. So download the app wherever you watch your apps. We'll have more here coming up in the next half hour.
Five News This Morning starts now.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on 5 News This Morning Plus. I'm Tiffany Lee.
I'm Joe Ellison. The manhunt for a suspect in the killings of a couple at Devil's Den enters day 5. We'll have a look at a photo being shared by police and a live report as law enforcement weigh in on the case.
And a powerful earthquake hit Russia yesterday, causing tsunami alerts along the west coast. We'll have the latest in minutes. But first, let's go ahead and check in with our meteorologist, Danny Cassidy. Danny, it's been hot the last few days, but there is relief in sight. We're looking at the positive.
Yes, looking at the positive today, but not too positive. We don't want to be toxic positive. We're not going to make sure we do that. But yes, relief is on the way very shortly here in just about 48 hours. Until then, it's still going to be pretty hot and humid. Currently a live look along Rogers here in I-49 near the AMP. 78 degrees, plenty of that blue sky, but the dew point is 75. It feels already like the low 80s. And it's only going to get hotter from here as well. Duh, Danny. But it's going to get into the triple digits for that feels like as early as 11 a.m. For Poto, 77 degrees. Beautiful shot there with the mountains in the background. 75 with the dew point there as well. So a little bit of a feels like. Again, that'll continue to warm up later today. For Northwest Arkansas, here's your outlook for the rest of this morning into the afternoon. We'll see some showers and storms start to bubble up as early as about noon, 1 o'clock, but especially during the peak heating of the day, about 3, or should I say 2 to more 5 p.m. We'll taper off by sunset and maybe could see some more storms overnight. Then for the River Valley, again, more of the same. High temperatures approaching 100 for some areas. Winds will be very light, so unfortunately, we're not going to see much of a breeze to help alleviate that heat. For Northwest Arkansas specifically, for that feels like it's going to be anywhere from about mid to upper 90s by 10 a.m. Again, by 11, I think we'll hit the triple digits. Noon well into the triple digits, and then we're anywhere from about 105 to 107 for much of the afternoon and evening, and even by 8 o'clock, right around sunset, still feeling like the mid 90s. For the River Valley, even hotter earlier, by 100 degrees by 10 a.m. By noon, getting closer to the upper, or I should say near 110, and then anywhere from about 110 to as high as 114 later during the afternoon, evening hours, and still feeling like 100 by 8 o'clock. So as Tiffany mentioned, alluded to, she might have to take my job here soon. Yes, there is going to be some relief on the way, and between now and Friday when that relief arrives, we're going to see a couple of rain chances for us. We'll talk further about that coming up in your full forecast. For now, we'll take a live look at traffic for you on this Wednesday morning. Here's a live look along I-49 at New Hope Road. No incidents to report on this Wednesday morning, and plenty of that sunshine quickly heating up for us, though. So again, just be safe out there in the heat. Some relief is on the way soon with those rain chances. We'll talk about that in a little bit here in your full forecast. Joe and Tiffany.
All right, thanks for that, Danny. Well, the manhunt for the person responsible for killing a couple at Devil's Den State Park, manhunt now entering its 5th day. And this morning we have some new developments, including a newly released photo of the person of interest investigators are searching for. You're looking at the first actual photo of that person, seen right here on your screen. They also shared a composite sketch. You've probably seen that as well, hoping someone will recognize this person. State police believe the suspect, there's that composite photo, is believed to be a white man with a medium build. They say he was wearing a long sleeve shirt with the sleeves rolled up, dark pants, ball cap, sunglasses, and fingerless gloves at the time. They believe that he may have left the state park on Highway 170 or 220. Now, as the search continues, the West Fork police chief says his team is staying vigilant. They're keeping a close watch for any new leads.
5 News reporter Jacob Luthi joins us live with what he's seeing on the ground and how local police departments are staying involved. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Joe. Yeah, West Fork Police Chief Justin Goggins says that while his department is not directly involved in the investigation looking into the deaths of Kristen and Clinton Brink at Devil's Den State Park over the weekend, they are doing what they can control, and that is continuing to patrol the area and really looking for anything that may be out of place. Now, Goggins says he can't recall an attack like this ever happening near his city. He's hiked the trails at Devil's Den with his own family and says this incident hits close to home. He says his department is receiving tips from park goers and neighbors and reminds everyone to report those directly to ASP. He's asking the public to stay alert, saying if you see something, say something. Even the smallest details, he said, could help move this case forward. He also urges patience as investigators continue to sort through evidence and follow up on leads.
Can't imagine the amount of information they're having to go through and sort through, especially early on in an investigation when it's very, very general information that's casting a really broad net. So you have to check it all, and that can really grind investigators down and really tie up resources and slow things down. So I'm just trying to be patient with investigators. They're going as quick as they can, I'm sure.
So State Police says that they are continuing to follow up on any leads and doing whatever they can to protect the public and the safety. They're also continuing to ask the public to share any relevant photos or videos that they may have, especially from park goers who were there on July 26th. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Jacob. Well, criminology experts are sharing their insight as this investigation unfolds. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach has more about the reliability of a person of interest sketch.
Dr. Angelo Brown says the sketch of the person of interest in the Devil's Den double homicide case is generic.
If it's a very basic sketch, which is the one I've seen, is pretty vague, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of probably calls of people that are very inaccurate. That's what happens. It's going to lead people to a wild goose chase.
And he says the composite won't mean much without more evidence to back it up.
Hopefully with more evidence coming about, maybe we're going to see some type of when we find the Mazda maybe that's they're looking for, maybe we could get some surveillance cameras footage. That would really help with the accuracy of this person we're looking for.
Something else being seen are AI-generated images posted by the public. But Dr. Brown warns that when the public uses AI to generate their own suspect images, it can do more harm than good.
This is most likely going to spread misinformation doing this, especially since, everyday citizens don't have the actual evidence the police do.
Dr. Brown adds that even though new photo evidence of the suspect is from behind, it is still useful.
Facial recognition technology is not 100% accurate, but even the way people walk, the way people stand, if you have enough of a video just of that without their face, you could actually have a pretty highly accurate match with someone else, because we all stand differently, we all walk differently.
Brown says information from the public can make all the difference.
A lot of times when there's a murder, homicide like this, that it's not DNA that's going to catch the guy, it's not going to be some advanced technology, it's going to be some everyday citizen that saw it. It's always important that we all work together if you're just everyday citizens.
We'll continue following updates from state police. Of course, we'll bring you those latest developments as they come into our newsroom on 5 News Plus. To learn how to download it to your smart TV, just text the word plus to 479-785-5000.
Well, an 8.8 magnitude earthquake hit off Russia's coast last night. It's one of the strongest quakes ever recorded in the highest magnitude since 2011. The earthquake triggered a tsunami in the northern Pacific and warnings in Alaska, Hawaii, and other coastal areas around the world. Officials warned waves could reach up to 10 feet, prompting boats to head out to sea and people to get to high ground, including a man vacationing from Arkansas.
We decided to go to elevated ground, and it's kind of just where it's taken us so far. We've passed a couple other gas stations that you can't even get in them.
So far, a tsunami was detected in over a dozen parts of Japan. There are no reports of injuries from the earthquake so far.
Well, the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration announcing an extension
for filing state income tax returns. The FDA is saying that the last day you can now file your state return is December 3rd. The deadline was initially extended from April 15th to July 31st because of severe weather events in the state. The IRS has also extended federal tax returns to November 3rd. You must print a specific form and include it with your return, or you can check the federal extension box on the return.
In the state capitol, Attorney General Tim Griffin calling on Congress to stop the shipment of abortion-inducing pills to people living in Arkansas through the mail.
Individuals, entities in a variety of states target, where abortion is legal, target states across the country, whether abortion's legal there or not.
Well, Griffin says that he sent cease and desist letters to the companies, but believes Congress will need to act, or it could make it difficult to pursue legal action. Well, are you being too positive? Why experts say forced optimism could do more harm than good. We'll have those details up next. Welcome back. Streaming here on 5 News This Morning Plus. Now, we've all heard the advice to look on the bright side of life, right? But staying positive has its limits. Experts warn that too much positive thinking can lead to what they call toxic positivity. That's the tendency to dismiss negative emotions instead of working through them, forcing optimism instead. And it can lead to emotionally invalidating other people's feelings. That poses the possible danger, experts say, of loneliness, anxiety, and depression, a decline in physical health, and emotional isolation.
Being toxically positive is asking someone to selectively only look at the good of a situation when there is so much bad happening at the same time, and it doesn't allow the person to process it. So it's saying, forget about it, ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist, and isn't life just wonderful? Which it is, right? But a person has to come to that on their own terms through processing the grief and the loss and eventually making meaning of it.
In her book, Practical Optimism, Dr. Sue Varma advises steering clear of phrases that dismiss someone's emotions like you're overreacting or don't be so positive, they say, which can cause mental health strain. And a new airline seats from a lab in Colorado could change the way wheelchair users travel by plane. The new design from Mullen Lab Seating is called the Freedom Seat and aims to make flying more accessible for people with disabilities.
Flying can bring delays, cancellations, and frustrations. But for Curtis Wolf, he gets more than his fair share.
Pretty limited when I can do it. I got to really plan for it, a lot of extra costs, a lot of extra hassle.
Wolf is paralyzed and uses a motorized wheelchair to get around. He says not every airline is all that accommodating.
They don't have the equipment to do transfers, like a lifting sling. They say they know how, but they're always in such a big hurry that they don't take care. They basically treat you like a sack of potatoes.
Hank Scott is hoping he can come in and solve that problem with a new invention from Mullen Lab Seating in Golden, Colorado.
We basically unlock it, slide it across. This is still a fully functioning seat. And now Kurt can actually move back and into his spot where we can secure him.
Kurt came with us as the very first person to try it out. The chair is then secured to a plate like this one underneath the floor and no longer requires Kurt to check his wheelchair. And without taking up any extra space, airlines can put in as many Freedom seats as they want.
You can do several rows. So you could have an entire, just say a disabled basketball team. You could have the whole team on one plane.
Mullen Lab is already in talks with airlines and Boeing.
Grab my luggage.
So while Kurt is the first to use this chair,
little inconveniences are major for me, and where a little convenience like this is huge. It's a game changer.
He hopes not to be the last. Sarah Horbakowitz, CBS News, Colorado.
Well, first taking a live look at your traffic this morning. So far, no incidents to report. Obviously, good news here. Here's a live look along I-540 at Phoenix Avenue in the Greater Fort Smith area, See traffic moving smoothly and plenty of that blue sky, a lot of orange out there as we're kicking off our Wednesday. Here's another live look along the I-49 US 71B interchange there in Fayetteville. Good morning to you there. More blue sky, traffic moving smoothly, and overall it is yet again going to be a hot and humid day. Fayetteville got just short of 100 degrees yesterday at 99 at Drake Field. And for today, I think we'll get pretty close as well. Currently it's 71 with that dew point, 74 for the temperature. Not much of a wind. We really won't have much of a wind for the day today. Again, very similar to yesterday, so not much relief out there with any breeze. Those highs I mentioned, close to 100, if not hitting 100 in the River Valley, mid to upper 90s potentially in northwest Arkansas. We'll start off with plenty of sunshine. Then during the afternoon, a few pop-up storms will be here, especially along and east to I-49. Nothing severe expected, but some heavier rainfall and gusty winds are possible. In terms of that, feels like it's not quite in the low 90s right now for the greater Fort Smith area, but it certainly will be in the 90s pretty quickly here. And by noon, everywhere is in the triple digits and could get up to maybe 110 in some areas already by noon. Then during the afternoon, we're going to see those peak heat indices about 106, 107 in northwest Arkansas, as high as 113 to 114 in the River Valley. As we mentioned, the past few nights, it's very muggy, right? So temperatures don't drop off too much and they don't warm up too much either, because really yesterday the temperature only rose about 20 degrees in Fort Smith because the low was only about 79 to 80. So that feels like overnight is going to be very warm in the mid 90s in the River Valley. Then for tomorrow morning, more of the same, low to mid 70s if that feels like. Now notice for tomorrow, not as hot for northwest Arkansas, only quote unquote in the low to mid 90s. Still pretty hot for the River Valley, could get up to 110 there. But we do see that cold front starting to swing through tomorrow afternoon and evening and that will help cool us off for Friday especially. Again, tomorrow's going to be pretty hot, especially in the River Valley, still up to 110 for that feels like, but on Friday in the low to mid 90s at best. And Saturday and Sunday will be below 95, below 90 on Sunday. It's going to feel so much better out there. Dew points will still stay pretty muggy through Friday. However, for Saturday and Sunday, it is going to be a lot lower in the low to mid 60s. So again, not necessarily super comfortable, but especially for what we been having, it is going to feel so much better out there. That's all thanks to this good almighty cold front here. The blue arrows doing its hard work, bringing in that cooler air from the north. It is producing quite a bit of heavy rain behind it here in parts of Nebraska, Iowa, and into portions of Illinois. Now, we're not going to see any of this widespread heavy rain. However, as it does track down to the south and parks its way here into portions of the area, it is going to bring the potential of some heavier rainfall just because we have so much moisture to work with. So it's just something to keep an eye on as we're going over the next few days. So here's Futurecast. We're seeing plenty of sunshine this morning. That's not going to change. Then by noon, those puffy cumulus clouds will start to develop, and we maybe see a stray shower or two. The best chance will probably be about 2 p.m. to about 5 or 6 o'clock, and then that'll taper off. What we're going to have to watch for is showers and storms will be firing off in central Missouri. As that front shifts south, the line of storms will move out ahead of it, and we could see maybe some outflow boundaries move past it. Again, it's basically like a secondary cold front. It's cooler air from the storm shooting down towards the surface and giving it more energy to ride along. So you notice this kind of ring pattern. If this holds through, as long as that outflow continues to move south, we could see showers and storms trigger off it. Again, how far south that gets, we'll have to find out. But a better chance, no matter what, will be on Thursday as the cold front moves down. We'll see those showers and storms start to trigger first northwest Arkansas, then through the River Valley, and even behind it, more showers and storms could continue Thursday night and then into the day on Friday as well, kind of scattered in nature. Not everyone will necessarily see rains at all parts of the day. It won't be an all-day washout, but those rain chances are there before clearing out Friday evening. All in all, I think we'll see up to an inch of rainfall for many spots. Some isolated areas could see maybe up to 2 inches of rainfall, especially if it sits underneath one area. Rest assured, though, I don't think we're going to see any widespread massive rainfall, but it is going to be wet in some areas. If we go through the next 3 days, those rain chances can increase, especially for Thursday and Friday. By Friday night, it does taper off. Saturday night and Sunday night, we'll have to watch if we see any of those overnight storms. We'll keep an eye on that. For now, though, it does seem pretty quiet, especially after Friday. The bigger story, though, are the high temperatures. In the mid-80s there for northwest Arkansas. The low temperatures as you walk out the door will be much better as well. In the low 60s for the River Valley, upper 60s and low 70s for those lows, and temperatures, highs that is, below 90. All right, let's hand things over to Alex Stewart for your morning sports report.
Being the baseball fiend that she is, our Robin Hearn just couldn't accept that America's pastime was almost over in Arkansas. So she did some digging and found out that one team from Little Rock has a shot to make it to the Little League World Series. Well, one call down to our friends at THV in Little Rock later, and here's their story.
It's every kid's dream to make it to the Little League World Series.
That would be so cool. Man, it would mean everything. That'd be awesome. I mean, I've always kind of wanted to go to a World Series for Little League.
2 weeks ago, Little Rock's junior deputy baseball team got one step closer to that goal when they won the state championship.
Our pitcher that pitched, we obviously dogpiled on him and we all dumped water on him and stuff. It was so fun.
Now the team is heading to Waco, Texas to represent Arkansas in the regional tournament.
It is a huge deal. I'm so proud of the boys. They've worked hard year after year out here, continuing to play and battle against each other. So it's just a great opportunity that they have definitely earned.
If the team wins the regionals, they'd be on to the World Series, something no Arkansas team has done since North Little Rock native Jimmy Johnson was on the team back in 1979.
We were all excited. We practiced 2 a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. The crowds are enormous. When you would walk out after the game, there would just be swarms of people waiting for your autograph.
And a day before this year's team hit the road, Johnson returned to get them ready.
Our whole team from back in 79 would love to see another Arkansas team make it to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's an experience you will never, ever, ever forget.
The kids feel how special it is, the parents feel how special it is, and it's what makes this so exciting.
The excitement level of being so close to the World Series is something the kids just can't keep their minds off of.
I mean, obviously we think about it all the time. It's always in our mind, but actually getting to do that would be crazy. But we're just trying to have fun and play the game.
Little Rock will play its first game of the regional tournament Thursday afternoon against Oklahoma. In Little Rock, Nick Luttrell, 5 News Sports.
Well, in Iowa, WNBA star Caitlin Clark returned home to Des Moines to give back to the community. Monday, Clark donated backpacks and school supplies to students at McCombs Middle School. The 23-year-old also unveiled a new outdoor basketball court that was funded by her foundation and a local lighting company. This marks the second year Clark has hosted the event. She says the city means a lot to her, and she's always happy to come back.
Well, speaking of school supplies, getting your students' sleeping schedule back on track is a reality that many are facing with school starting in just a few weeks. According to professionals, if your student's routine was derailed during the summer, walking it back slowly is best. Move the bedtime up by 15 minutes every night until it's back to where it needs to be. One pediatrician says keeping their wake-up time within the hour of when they should be getting up during the week is also best.
So if they normally get up at 6:30 during the school week, get them up by about 7:30 on the weekend if possible, just to make it a little bit easier come Sunday night when it's time for them to go to bed.
She also says to put away phones and devices at least an hour before bed and avoid naps longer than 20 minutes during the day.
And back home here in our area, local back-to-school shoppers, you can save a little money this weekend. It's tax-free shopping in Arkansas and Oklahoma, allowing people to buy most school supplies without paying state taxes ahead of the new school year. You can find those details on Tax-Free Weekend on our website at 5newsonline.com.
I think I'll also be taking advantage of tax-free weekend.
I know, it's a good time to do it, right? Just save a little money. Who doesn't love that?
And who doesn't love to shop?
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. Shopping your thing? Do you like it?
It's my favorite hobby.
I don't necessarily like do it to do it, but if there's something that kind of catches my eye,
You like it.
I'll go after it.
You'll just go buy it?
Yeah.
I know like this, like whenever I go to the store, it's like I make sure it's, especially with groceries, I'll eat before I go because I don't want to get anything extra.
Yeah.
Oh, I love to go when I'm hungry. Get so much fun stuff.
Tiffany's talking about a different kind of shopping, the kind where you just spend hours browsing, going down the rabbit hole.
That's my favorite hobby.
Stay with us.
This is a 5 News update.
Good morning. I'm 5 News meteorologist Danny Cassidy. As we head through the rest of this morning, it is going to get hot very quickly. That feels like we'll be hitting the mid-80s here in just about a half hour, or I shouldn't say half hour, about 5 minutes or so. And we'll be close into the triple digits by 11, if not hitting it. And for Northwest Arkansas, peaking around 106 to 107. For the River Valley, we'll get hot very quickly as well. Maybe up to 100 already by 10, and peaking anywhere from about 110 to possibly as high as 114 later this afternoon. So that heat you felt yesterday See more of the same today. And high temperatures from yesterday. Fort Smith hit 100 for the first time in nearly a year. We could hit it once again for us today, nearly area-wide in the River Valley. Northwest Arkansas will fall just short, but still pretty hot nonetheless. Highs in the mid to upper 90s. We'll see plenty of sunshine this morning. You're already seeing it. We will be seeing some spotty storms. That would be tough. Spotty storms as we head later into the afternoon and evening hours. Here's a look at futurecast, and there's that plenty of sunshine. Then from about 11 to noon, some of those puffy cumulus will start to develop, and with it could see some very pop-up showers and storms. Not everyone will see it, but maybe could see some brief downpours and gusty winds at times. We'll have to watch for 2 overnight into early Thursday. You see this kind of boundary here. This may make its way through Missouri into portions of northwest Arkansas. How far south it gets, that's another question. Just be mindful of some showers and storms overnight tonight. Not expected to be severe, but we could see some heavy rain with it, as well as some gusty winds. And then that chance will continue into the day tomorrow as that cold front swings through. The good news here is it's going to feel a whole lot better around here starting Friday. Yes, Thursday the cold front moves through. We won't feel the effects until Friday. And for this weekend, that heat index below 95 on Saturday and below 90 on Sunday. So just got to get through these next couple of days before much needed relief is on the way, as well as a little bit of rainfall in between. In the meantime, though, have a great rest of your Wednesday. Stay safe out there.
Welcome back. Here's another look at the photo of a man police say is a person of interest in the investigation in the double homicide at Devil's Den. It's on the right side of your screen. On the left is a composite sketch released as well by authorities. They've put out both, hoping someone may have information that will help with the case.
Investigators say the suspect is believed to be a white man with a medium build, last seen wearing dark clothing and a dark ball cap. Officials urge anyone with more information to contact the Arkansas State Police. And Danny, we want to take another look at that forecast.
All right, but first, a new prosecutor is now handling the deadly shooting case in Lavaca. Daniel Shue stepping aside due to conflicts of interest tied to both the victim and suspects' families. David Etheridge is now reviewing the case and says he'll visit the crime scene and meet with law enforcement before making any decisions.
And the new school year just weeks away for many Arkansas students. Experts say now's the time to start making changes. That includes earlier bedtimes, limiting screen time, and easing kids back into a daily routine to help avoid exhaustion and get the school year off to a strong start. Got ahead of ourselves. Now it's time for the weather. We just got excited because 80s are on the way.
Yes, 80s are on the way soon, but before that, can't get too ahead of ourselves, can't look too far down the road because it is going to be another hot one for us today. That feels like in northwest Arkansas, as high as 107. High temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. But notice that drop off there, a little bit down the roller coaster. If you don't like them, you're going to like this one. Dropping off into the 80s and not returning to the 90s until probably next Tuesday, so in about a week from now. The River Valley, still very nice as well. Those temperatures dropping off about 10 to 15 degrees for us from Thursday to Friday. It is going to be very nice through the weekend into early next week. Yes, the heat will return during the middle of the week next week. However, for that 4 or 5 day stretch, it is going to be gorgeous out there.
All right, sounds good. Hey, thanks so much for joining us here today on 5 News This Morning. Plus, have a great day. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.